I'd like to welcome to the show Benjamin Kyle of the band Oblivea and a seven-time Grammy nominee. What's going on, Benjamin? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Doc Rock? Thanks for having me, buddy.
Hey,
I'm
no
so excited
problem.
to be here.
So, what got you into music? I mean, do you come from a musical background?
Yeah, my dad that raised me, he songwriter for Keith Whitley. He's in the Country Music Hall of Fame. He's called Kevin Cole. His real name is Kevin Hamilton, but stage name is Kevin Cole. And then he did a million country fans got a plaque for it in Country Music Hall of Fame. Lori Morgan, they did a whole big thing in Big Sandy, Kentucky. So I grew up around music. I grew up
Oh,
around
very
country music.
cool, very cool. Now, when did you decide you wanted, besides growing up around it, when did you I mean, you went on to create, I'm sure, many bands before Oblivier.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Tell us a little bit about that.
right, and the proper pronunciation is Oblivea for the
Oh,
band.
Oblivia. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause what I did was when we launched the group, I launched the group looking at the name because I felt like the world was oblivious to what was going on around us in terms of like I ran into an older couple. I was working out in a nice area out in Ohio, eastern part of Ohio,
Right.
and they were talking about they had to reset all their what they want to leave their family members because the state goes back and as far as 7 years, or the government, federal government goes back as far as 7 years
Right.
on any debts or something like that when it used to be five. So if they left their house to somebody, to a granddaughter, and there was like some outstanding debts and things like that, they'll just retrieve it. Even
Right.
if she may not know nothing about a debt and use up all the money, but then she's owing for the money because
Right.
she received it. So I kind of like that's kind of started, and then there were the political viewpoints too as well. I was real heavy into it because I'm a military guy myself, so
Right.
I bet our military. Every war, we have to. That's thank you
Well,
guys
thank you for
for
your
doing that.
service.
Yeah. Oh, no problem. Thank you. And I want to give a shout out to all the troops and people out there. You guys, thank you. Thank you so much sincerely for protecting our rights as citizens. To give us the rights to have our own opinions and
Right.
talk about. And for the rest of the world, we do have our own opinions in general, like people to people talking to each other. So you have to accept that person's opinion. You can't just run over top of it with yours. It's just more of a courtesy thing. But the troops, our military, is why we have that ability to be
Right.
able to speak out, to talk out about the things that they love and things they don't like. So that's just express your thoughts and the things that you dream about and really enjoy. And if there's things that bother you guys in the world, then talk about that too, but talk about it logically.
Right.
Life is full of challenges and changes.
Right.
And people like Doc Rock, thank you so much for keeping rock and roll alive.
I'm trying.
Yeah. you
Now,
know,
you have got seven Grammy nominations, and the latest one is for a song called Black Sheep.
yes, and yeah, it was up for a nomination. I've been up for nomination 7 times. Never got that status mark yet, but I was up in the Grammy voting last final rounds. This last song went really well. Matter of fact, my friend in Los Angeles, Robert Ibeck, he's won Grammys. He remixed the song for me. I asked him to. He's done people like Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift,
Right.
et cetera, and he's got Grammys for his work. Thanks, Robert, for remixing it. Great job. So, but yeah, so he really likes the artistry because I'm an artist.
Right.
I work very hard at what I do, just like any other artist.
Right.
They do the same, but you've got to have a passion for it. It's never been about money. It's never been about that for me. For
Right.
me as an artist, it's always been about the truth.
Right.
That's kind of what my
And
music's about.
expressing things. I mean, I always say on the show and probably every interview, music's a powerful tool. Music's a
Yes.
powerful medicine. I mean, it can help you out through good times, it can help you out through bad times. And, to express yourself and put everything into music is just phenomenal. And you have done that with Black Sheep because that's a pretty cool tune.
Oh yeah, and like when I was writing the song, I wanted to reach people because I feel like if you take a look at me, kind of stand back here. This is me every day.
Right.
Weird clothes, rings, having fun. So I kind of get looked at weirdly at times. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not the typical dressing blue jeans, t-shirts guy. So
Right.
I understand from that aspect of being an outcast, if
Right.
you will. And really, I think a lot of people are just misunderstood. I don't think they're a black sheep at all. They're just misread or misunderstood and never given a chance.
Right. I agree.
And we make mistakes. People get in trouble. People go to jail.
Right.
I've been good. I never got in trouble doing stuff, So, but doesn't mean I didn't do some bad things that I should have went to and got in trouble for, right?
Right. We all been there.
Being realistic and live.
Right.
So,
What
but go ahead.
What can you tell us more about your music? I mean, you go expressing yourself and stuff like that. And I mean, do you have anything in the works right now, or
Oh my gosh, yeah, we got album 4 coming out called Awakened. Black Sheep is going to be on that album. It's
okay?
right now a single, and there's other songs that's going to be on that album. We're also in on to our 5th album right now,
Uh,
recording.
okay.
Album 4 is completed. The senior album's completed. Now we're on to our 5th album. But
Right.
I'm just really excited. The new stuff that we're writing is like about life things. Like, let me go back into the album that's out now so you can kind of understand before I
Okay.
move to the next album. So, Immortal. So we all know, our spirits, and there's conflict of controversial. Is there life after death? Blah 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 blah. Okay, so this album is strictly about the immortality or being. So one of the songs in there, which actually broke up the band of some other members,
Right.
One More Try, was actually, so I wanted to release that song. So I went and redid it. We worked with David Ivory on that song, and I didn't want to waste all that time and effort. Thanks, David Ivory. I forgot to, get a shout out there.
Right.
So I don't scare the kids here. Look, I like to, wear my fangs.
Pull your fangs out.
So yeah, but I just I just want to, like, because I vampire has been a thing for me for as long as I've seen movies.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a fun thing. I got to meet cool people. Father Sebastian did my fangs, those particular set, and then my other friend, Maven Laura out in New Orleans, did my other set. So shout out to both you guys. But yeah, they're inspirational too in regards to music, because they root you on. Those kind of guys are like, hey, we love music, and you get to chat and talk. But let me get back to that song, One More Try. One More Try was where I found myself, and I just didn't want to be here any longer. Found myself at that point. And,
Right.
I won't go into any of the details or anything like that, but I'm still here.
Right.
So, but what I'm trying to get at is, I like to write about things that are real and talk about real issues and real things that might happen. So this particular album touches on a lot of different things. That particular song, One More Try, was also up for that Grammy,
Right.
seeking that Grammy nomination, and that was in 2023, I believe that was, or 2024. But anyways, back to that song, it means a lot to me. It's probably one of my favorite songs, because I wrote really what it was about,
Right.
and what I was going through and what I was feeling. I start out, and it was inspired in a sense by the band The Police. I like The Police, so
Right.
it was pretty much inspired by that group. Because every song on the album, I actually wanted to give back to the artist that inspired me as an artist, because I was in the basement in my studio. I was going through a massive, terrible breakup. Band members interchanging. It was through COVID, so kind of thing. Just really worked hard at trying to drive myself into something that really got me out of the pain that I was living.
Right.
So One More Try was that one more try, getting back up on that horse one more time, going for that last ride. And
Well,
then
I'm
so
glad you're
that,
still here.
oh yeah, me too.
I
So
mean, because your music is absolutely incredible.
oh,
And
thanks.
what do you hope that fans get out of your music, like when you're performing live?
Oh well, what I hope that they get out of our music live, when they come to our show, I hope that they actually feel what we're putting out there, feel the vibrations of life. Like, hey, we hear you. We're human too. We know what you're going through at times. We may not know every situation you're going through, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, but we want to relate that we understand, because we're there too. We're
Right.
just like,
Very cool. Very cool. So, how do you balance personal life and music? And because you're like always on the go.
oh yeah, it's tough. I have I have a painting remodeling company.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
that's what I have. One of those companies. I have another company called Biochem Remedial Services, where So I've got two companies there. Then I got the Black Mirror Company, and then I've got the band is always my love. So
Right.
if
Right.
I balancing it out is being a good time manager, and learning the hard way is how I've learned to be a good time manager,
Right.
and putting the time in. Personally, I like to put 5 days a weekend doing this, making
Right.
music.
Right.
I even told the guys like it's going to be a little bit harder for me to close down these companies because I have people that work for me. They
Right.
work under me. But what I want to do is I want to get out there and I want to tour. I want to get out there with we've done shows with Paula Mudd, Saliva,
Right.
Buck Cherry, Smile Empty Soul, Amaranth, um, I'm Butcher Babies. I mean, we've done like a lot of different stuff. Uh,
Right.
and Steel Heart. I got to do a song with the singer, or not a song with the singer, but a show with the singer. He did an
Right.
acoustic set, and we played before him. So I've got to meet a lot of great artists. Mike Tramp was my first from White Lion, and that was an awesome thing. I was like early 20s, and I got to do a show, open up for him
Right.
with
Very
bar player.
cool.
That was cool for me. One of my favorites was
Right.
White Lion. So,
Now
but
we have a mutual friend in common, Mr. Rich Green.
oh yes, and I'm a fan of Rich too. He's an amazing writer, amazing musician,
Yeah.
and I thank Rich sincerely for working on this song Black Sheep. Thank you, Rich. I mean, seriously, like he really set the pace. He really knew how to talk to everybody, and he's a drummer, but he also understands the whole song. And what an honor to work with a platinum artist. Thank
Yeah.
you so much,
We
Rich.
all feel like a black sheep once in a while. I know I've
Yeah,
been the black sheep of my family for years.
right. And yet all it is just you're. I like I said, I just feel like people are misunderstood. You're just misunderstood.
Right.
You're Yeah. I mean, listen, your personality that conveys through that microphone right now, it conveys as a very positive, honorable
Yeah.
person.
Well,
You can just tell.
I try to get you guys' music heard. I've always believed in the underground scene because the thing is there's a lot of great artists out there, like as yourself, that never get heard. With FM radio, it's the same stuff for the past 50 years, and that's why I do what I do, is to try to get people like yourself heard, to get them, because there's a lot of great talent in this world, but it never gets heard, you know.
That's so true. It is really true. I remember there was this one band called Project Nine from Akron. They should have been totally huge. They were a great band.
Right,
They had like a sublime vibe, and they had a saxophone. They were a great band. Again, like you just said, because they never got heard. Guess what? They're gone now.
right, and that's
They're
the
no longer
thing.
around.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, since we're on that subject. What is your take on the music scene now compared to what it used to be?
Well, I feel
I
like
mean,
that.
now that like everything is streaming, everything you can use AI now, and I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, let me rewind the clock. 10 years. Let's rewind the clock to MySpace days. 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, we were 60 million people deep. MySpace, number one.
Right,
For like over a year, and people would come out and do the shows. Then MySpace got bought out by the three major labels. Then it died. So
right,
that killed like the indie artist uh, for a lot of years here. But I really see it coming back. I really see like the rock is starting to trend back in to movie scenes. They're starting to accept. They're starting to look for rock music. And another good driving force of rock. It's a type of rock. It's called dark wave, but it's a rock form, and
right,
it's driving back uh, artists and things, and fashion. It's a very fashionable, and that's one other thing too. Is I think the music scene has hit a wall. Boom,
right,
like it's hit a wall. I think it's going to go back to the radio shows. I think it's going to go back to hanging up posters. I think it's going to go back to the meet and greets.
right.
I think that's where it's headed because streaming it's saturated. It's
Oh
heavily
yeah,
saturated.
I
So,
think it's oversaturated. But the thing
so
is I've noticed too, doing what I do, is a lot of bands are going back to that old style of 70s rock and roll. Lately, especially lately, there's been quite a few that are going back to, you know, that 60s style or that Led Zeppelin style of rock and roll lately. I've
Oh yeah,
noticed.
that young kid band from Detroit. I forgot the name of them, but they sound like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
Very reminiscent of it. And what I think's happened is because there was a 20-year gap here, there was no tablature. They
right,
really, you go to music stores, they're not nobody's really playing the guitar or the bass. No need for tablature.
right,
We got the computer stuff. We'll program it. We'll get this done, and you pop that in there, pop that in there. But I think now it's sort of a blend, and I think the artistry's coming back to where all right, just artists. Because I saw several bands that we played with, and they're like 18, 19 years old, and they're
right,
playing 70s sound style music.
right,
Why? Do you think that's happening? I think that might be a trend because they have tablature available to them. Cool
right,
band. Their,
right.
their, their,
I
their dad liked the band. It's kind of one of
right.
those things.
I think it's what the music scene needed, and
Yeah.
I call it a jump start. You know, because I thought it was pretty cool that this younger generation is coming back with this old style sound. I mean,
Yep.
these kids weren't even thought of back then. So
That's true.
so so what else
And
you
I,
want
I,
to talk about?
I love Led Zeppelin, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good Stairway to Heaven. That's a great artist. Um, what? How did you get started? Like, what drove you to do this?
How did I?
Honestly.
Well, I was raised around radio
Okay.
here in Pittsburgh, and my dad was a jock back in the day. And the thing was how Metal Shop started was I was DJing in a bar back. It'll be 26 years ago this year, actually. And local bands started bringing me in their CDs and stuff, saying, "Here, play this, play this, play that, play this," and it gave a chance for everybody to hear what was going on in the music scene, and it just grew from there. And we kept it. I asked over the microphone one night. I said, "Hey, we got to call this something. What should we call it?" And they're like, "Metal Shop 101." It's like going to class, get to hear what everybody else is doing. So I kept it and ran with it.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
off and on for you know 26 years, but and it's been good to me. I mean, a lot of bands have come through here to the metal shop, and a lot of artists have been on the show, and it's just been an amazing ride. You know,
Well, you're not too far from me. You said Pittsburgh. Are you still in Pittsburgh, or are you out in L.A. or New York?
no, I'm
Or
still in Pittsburgh.
well, shoot, I should plan a trip just to come up there and just say hello.
Yeah, where are you located?
Well, I used to be near the Cleveland area, which would only put me at 2.5 hours. But now I'm in the Toledo area,
Oh, okay,
so
yeah,
I'm getting like 3.5, 4 hours. But I'd
yeah,
make the trip up there, man. I'll have to come up there, and
yeah.
we'll play. I can play acoustically live for you if you would like. You
That's
know.
cool. You're welcome to come up here to the studio.
Oh, that'd be
Okay.
awesome. I'd be honored. That'd be because
It'd be
I
my
appreciate
pleasure to
it.
have you here.
All
So,
right. Well, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to plan it. That'd be awesome.
yeah.
So,
So, so you got the new album coming out.
mhm.
Do you have a release date for that or?
No, we're the artwork's getting done for it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so we went from immortal to awakened. So
Okay.
it's kind of like it's got its religious beliefs and its non-religious beliefs, but it's a lot of spirituality in my
Right.
music. I sing from the heart and from the soul, from the
Right.
spirit.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
all you can do. I mean,
yeah.
if you put your feelings and your emotions into the music, it makes it that much better. So,
Yes. Well,
yeah.
some of the singles that's going to be on that one, like the Crash, it was a single release about a year ago, and I recorded that in New Orleans. The vocals I did vocals in New Orleans at the what was it called? The Esplanade Studios. So Misha, and he's a Grammy winning producer as well with his work. So he let me use the studio. I got the vocals, got to do that for the Crash. That one is about basically like the what if scenario coming into a crash. Cause actually wrecked my car like when I was real young. I rolled it 3 times over the side of a mountain, and
Oh,
then
wow.
yeah. So and I lived in Kentucky, so Floyd County area. So there's tall mountains. So when the only thing that stopped me was the train tracks. So the car rolls one time and a half, and then it hits the side, and then it keeps rolling, and then all this glass is breaking everywhere around me, and I'm just getting knocked around inside the vehicle, back, front, and back, left to right, and
Right.
then boom, it stops. So then I'm like, and it was just like a couple months prior, a friend of mine, Mark Oosley, he died from a car wreck that rolled over top of his head. So I kept thinking about not getting thrown out the car because he kept trying to throw me out of the car because all the windows were broken out as it was
Right.
rolling over. So when the car finally stopped, Bon Jovi's still playing. I got Bon Jovi New Jersey album blasting right here. So it's still going. The car stops. I'm like, did I lose any arms or limbs? Because I didn't know
Right.
if I was in shock. So
Right.
I'm looking down, and I get out. And the only thing I had was like a scrape on my knee. So
Oh,
I
wow.
was so I get out of the vehicle. God saved me. Get out of the vehicle, and I'm coming up the top of the hill. And then the guy at the house at the top of the hill, are they okay in the car? All I heard was like a boom. I said, well, that's me. You all right? I said, yeah, I'm okay. So they called the police. It was like, I don't know, 50 feet off. Here's
Wow.
the road, like a 50, 60 feet down. And the only thing that stopped me was train tracks, or I would have kept going down the mountain.
Right.
So I was in Hazard County. But it was
Somebody
kind of
somebody was looking out for you.
absolutely. So, but back to your question about getting started in music, I started in music, man. I was like 8 or 9 years old. There was a guy, neighbor to my mom, that we lived in a duplex, and he gave me a Van Halen album.
Yeah.
So vinyl. I'm only like 8, 9 years old, and I'm playing this thing, and I hear the guitar, so I'm like, oh yeah. So I'm playing like,
Yeah.
like making these noises, and then I wanted a guitar, so I got a guitar, and along the way I learned to play piano, bass. I can't play drums, but I can write them on programs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm an engineer
Right.
producer. So, but yeah, so that's how I got my start. I was like 8, 9 years old,
Uh,
loving music. Actually, what really got me started was I was 4 and a half, 5 years old. My uncle would take me fishing. So I'm falling asleep with my head on the speaker, and here comes what's it? Time After Time by
yeah.
Cyndi Lauper. I'm like, oh, that was cool. The piano part is what I
Right.
really enjoyed. I was like, that's cool, and that's what really got me started in music. And then from there on, I sounded like a terrible pig against a washboard, getting scratched for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh, practice makes perfect.
it does help.
So, who were some of, besides like Eddie Van Halen, who were some of your biggest influences?
Well, I have a lot. I have a lot of influences, but I have to say, like, the guitarist Eddie Van Halen was my first. Um, like I said, the keyboards in Time After Time, Cyndi Lauper, Rod
Right.
Stewart, Def Leppard, AC/DC, Metallica, GNR, Guns N' Roses, Disturbed,
Right.
uh, bands like Saliva, Pop Evil. I got to play with those guys too, which is awesome. Another honor, to play with all these bands.
Right.
You know, then there's other projects like, well, White Lion was one of my most favorite because of his raspy voice.
Right.
Mark Tramp's raspy voice. On the song "When the Children Cry," that was like my favorite. I was like, that was a really like melodious song. And it was
Right.
like back I can remember on the school bus cruising down the mountain there. So, but and then you got your bands like STP, Stone Temple Pilots, Bush.
Right.
Um, you know, I like a lot of different things. But one of my favorite musics that I ever listened to is Johann Sebastian Bach, the classical music,
Right.
Mozart, just Tchaikovsky and things like that. So actually, I like those ones because that's actually how I write. I write more of a classical approach. You wouldn't know it, but if you really pay attention to like the on especially on Immortal, all the guitar riffs are actually built around each other and they actually walk around each other in a classical way. And then they have a classical approach, and I change my drum timings throughout that because I use a lot of programming on that particular record.
Right.
With my I had the opportunity to do with stuff. So classical has been a huge one, huge inspiration in terms of writing for me.
Right.
And the artists opened up my mind to different tonalities, if you will, like the artists I listed off. So they've been huge for me as a vocalist, as a guitarist, and as somebody just looking at the entire project as a song in a
Right.
whole. You know, all the bands that are coming out now, I feel like are really like at the top of their game and deserve to be there. You
Right.
know,
Especially
so
some of the rock bands that are coming out now, or they're just some. A lot of them are phenomenal. They're just unbelievable what's coming out now. Because
oh yeah,
I deal with bands all over the world, and it's insane what's out there, especially like across the pond. Some of the bands that send me their stuff, it's like wow, it's
That's
crazy.
cool.
It's crazy.
You probably even had like a Asking Alexandria on your show before they got real big when they came to the states.
No, I haven't, but
Well,
I,
those guys are a really interesting band to listen to. I really appreciate those guys. Very, those guys like Bring Me the Horizon. That whole genre thing right there is really
right,
like impressive. They've blended basically like the digital realm and the music realm together.
right,
On the reverse and bands like that. Some of the new stuff that's been inspiring to me is like dark wave, like Clan of Zymox. That's an older band. It's been around for like 40 plus years. Got to
right,
build a relationship with those guys. They're really cool bands. Twin Tribes, those kind of bands. Boot Blacks. I've been listening to different styles, and what that did for me was made me slow down a little bit and think about the vocals. So I've been like really like diving into like great vocals instead of just let's just sing this commercially and get my point across so people can hear me. Now I'm actually, I feel like I'm a better singer today than I ever was
right,
uh, a year ago. Like just in terms of like where it's going, my control and the tonalities that I'm really pushing.
right.
So
Well, that's all you could
Black
do
Sheep is
is
like
keep,
the first breaking song with
you
the
know,
new approach of vocals for me.
I mean, that's all you could do is keep practicing and get your voice seasoned and, hit that plateau where you want to be.
Yeah.
So, you guys have any, does Oblivia have any shows coming up?
Absolutely, we got some shows coming up. Rich has got me booked somewhere June 14th. I wish I knew where it's at. I'll have to post it. Whatever the shows we're talking about, because look, I'm like, I know we got shows. So June 14th, we got a show coming up. We're going to be in the Cincinnati area.
Okay.
We're going to be with Gods of Monsters and the what's the Memphis Rundown. So we're going
Yeah,
to be doing and another band as well. I just don't know the names. I don't know the venue names, so that's what I'm going to have to post.
right.
Then we
Okay.
got another show coming up actually at the end of this month. Where are we? I'm trying to think where we're going to be at. It's a May 30th show, somewhere south. I don't
Summer South.
know. I got
I'll
hey,
let you
my
know.
bass player is in charge of posting these things for us.
Right,
Big shout out to my bass player, Ben 10. He's got a nickname. I'm not gonna say it on radio to keep our names separate, but he's
right.
awesome. We need to get those show dates up. So that way I can afford. I can't. I would actually, if I had my phone in my hand, but I'm using it right now. I would
Right.
actually look up the dates. Oh, we're here. Da, da, da. But no, we're doing I know we're doing a show with Convey the Signs. That's right, Convey the Signs, and then another band. It's the May 30th or May 31st. I got to look on my phone.
Okay.
But
That's fine.
yeah, I don't. Can I look on the phone and give you the proper date or no?
That's all right. I'll
Oh,
get it with Rich.
oh, no problem. So yeah, so we're doing a show with those guys. They're on Iron Gate Records. I'm on Iron Gate Records, and I'm also on Bongo Boy Records. They went together and merged with me as an artist because
Right.
I've been with Bongo Boy Records for since 2019. So, and I really thank you guys. Thanks, Monique, for helping with all the articles and things like that you've done for us. Thanks for give, giving us good advice and putting us in the right direction. We appreciate that. And then I want to give a shout out to Iron Gate too. Thank you for taking us on. We're like probably your weird project that does little different stuff. So thanks for having this eccentric type rock band, if you will. I feel more like we're like a goth rock, hard rock band kind of thing, not like
Right.
a mainstream, but it is commercial sounding at times. But we were not after the commercial sound. We're actually after you guys being able to understand what we're trying to convey to you. So Immoral, the album that is released, that is about living life. That is about finding yourself, and that is about you're going through things. And you're going to go through things, and it
Right.
just matters time, and then how do you get through it at the other side.
Right.
So that's why it stands for immortal. Because when you get to the other side and you're there and you're standing, like I made it through all this,
Right.
as a trooper and honorable as I can as a person. So
Wh-
that's what it's about, man.
Where can fans find your music at?
Well, you can start by Obliva, Oblivea.com, and that'll get you to our stream of links.
Okay.
Then you want to go to Google and you just Google the name Oblivea.
Right.
You'll see a ton of stuff. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple iTunes. I think we're on all the formats actually.
Right.
The YouTube format for music and things of that nature. Amazon Music. I'm pretty much I think at all the stores, 167 stores throughout the world digitally. You can find us. Bandcamp. Bandcamp released the one song that's going to be off the Awaken album, not the Awaken, yeah, the Awaken album, and that one says no. It's called No More Forever. It charted over in Australia rather, and so that did really well. But that's the only place you can find that song is to purchase is right there through that, and the money goes towards the Ukraine. So we want to help out with that.
Okay.
So
Very cool.
you guys do that download. That's why we're doing that. We'll give that to help out for the families. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Everybody's helping out the troops and stuff. And I feel bad for the whole world because there's so many wars popping off. If I can say anything positive at all, I think it's stand together for truth, and
Right.
that's what makes the difference.
Right. You have any last words for up and coming artists?
Absolutely, I would say that it's a lot of hard work. Uh, I mean, when you make a choice, when I was in school, in high school, I made a decision not to go to college because I wanted to do music. Because I started out very young and this is what I wanted and what I will do. And this is what I'm still doing, But what I'm going to say to you guys is, you have to realize the choices that you make now will affect your life later. And
Right.
you want to make sure that those are the choices that are sound for you as an artist because you want to make sure you give everything. You want to give 120% into your music. And if you're not willing to do that and go that extra mile, it's not going to be as effective for you. So just realize there's some work involved, but there's also fun and keep it fun. If you can't keep it fun, it's no good. You don't want to be like it's a business. It's a business. No, you got to keep it fun and keep it real if you want to make it happen for everybody involved because it really shows on stage the vibe that you guys get along and that
Right.
you guys and that's going to go such a long way. And focus on your writing. Keep your songs around 3.5 minutes, 3 to 3.5 minutes. Focus on your writing. Get your point across in 3 to 3.5 minutes, and just really think about what you want to say.
Right. All right, Benjamin. Hey, thanks for taking the time out to come on the show, man. It's been an honor to have a 7-time Grammy nominee on the show, man. I think you're the first.
Well, thank you.
That's pretty awesome.
Thank you so much, Doc Rock. Keep doing what you do, man.
I
Thank you
will.
for this opportunity, and I meant that about coming out your way. I'd
Okay.
like to plan that for the future, and we'll have a special event or something we'll put together.
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll
I'll
do
put a
something.
show and have you out, and I will have you out as a special guest if you're willing to come out. And
Yeah.
I'd love to have you. But I'll come to your studio, play acoustically. Love to do that. That'd be a great opportunity. And then yeah, just it'll be more fun and friendly.
All
you know.
right, Benjamin. Hey, thanks for coming on the show, man. And we look forward to that new album coming out, and we'll keep playing you.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you too.